right. Welcome back. We are going to go over graphing linear inequalities, and 90% of what we're doing is normal graphing. We're going to start on number 2. I know this sounds weird, but trust me, don't do number 1. Let's do number 2 first, and we'll make our way around. For question number 2, just like normal, what is the m? What is the b? 3/4 and -2. All right, once you have these two numbers, we're going to graph it just like normal. I know that these are new notes, but there is nothing new so far. We're going to start at -2. Don't copy my paper. Count on your own. You can count down too. You can handle it. You didn't get a piece of paper? Come grab one. I got an extra one for you right here.
I did pass them.
Okay, it's all right. Not a big deal. All right. Now that we got this, we need to graph the m, which is rise over run, which is up 3 and over 4. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my other dot. Now I'm going to need 3 dots. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the problem is here I went off the graph, so I need to go in the opposite direction and get a third point. I'm going to return to the b value, and instead of going up, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go down. Instead of going right, I'm going to go left. Now, especially for these questions where you have to go in the opposite direction, I'm going to use a ruler. And I'm going to make sure that my dots are in a straight line. Does that look good? I think it looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to draw a nice line. Now, this line, we talked about it, it has to be a line that goes all the way across. If you draw a short line like this, it is not good enough. You will lose points. Has to be a line that goes all the way across. Okay? Now, so far, we haven't done anything new at all. Right? We haven't done anything new whatsoever. We're going to look at this, the inequality. And for this question, it is this inequality. Now, does anybody know what this inequality is called? Nice job. This is a less or equal to. I'm just going to write that. I don't know. I'm feeling a little lazy, I guess. And what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to go back and just follow with me for just a second. And we're going to imagine that we're graphing one of these questions. Okay? We've done these before. We've done these graphs before. They're pretty easy. You're going to start off with a circle, and then you need to decide if you need to go left or right. For this question, are we supposed to go to the left side or the right side?
The right side.
For this question, we're supposed to go to the right side. Okay? Very similar. On the notes, we're going to have to decide which side we're on. Are we supposed to be on this side, which is, if you see my line here, on top of the line or above the line? Or are we supposed to be on this side, which is underneath the line or below the line? Okay? If you think about it, and if you think about the word less, if you have less money than me, do you have above my money or below my money? If you've got less, then you have below. And that's correct. Okay? So, up here at the top, where it says below, we're going to fill in just a really simple symbol here, a less than or equal to. We need to color below, and everybody got that little symbol up here?
Where?
Up at the top where I'm pointing with my finger. Use your eyes and put away the other work and focus on math really quick. Now, we need to color below. Do you think we need to color on side A or on side B?
Wait.
No, we're right here. Do you
Color
think?
for what?
Listen, if you're not gonna pay attention, don't ask questions and slow us down. We're gonna be coloring because we have inequalities. You okay, Kyle? Now you're smiling about something else. So if you want to ask questions, then be ready to hear them.
Okay.
Okay, we need to do some coloring. We're either going to color on side A or we're going to color on side B. It's a less than symbol, and we talked about how less than is going to be below. So, do you think that we're going to color everything on side A or everything on side B?
Side B.
We need to look at side B because side B is below. So, nice job. We need to color on side B. There is some coloring today. The main thing is, don't take too long coloring, okay? It doesn't need to be perfect. Here's the best way to do it. Take your pencil, make some zigzags, and go for 3 seconds. That's all you got, okay? I'm going to put my pencil on this side. I'm going to try to finish over on this side, and I'm just going to do zigzags. You ready? 1, 2, 3. And I know I got a marker, okay, so that you guys can see better, but even without a marker. 1, 2, 3. That's good enough, okay? This does not have to be a masterpiece. There will be students in class who sit here and they spend the next 5 minutes coloring. And I'm like, hey guys, what's the answer number 4? And they're still coloring number 2, okay? Don't spend too long doing this. You just need to do a little bit of coloring, a little bit of zigzags, good enough, okay? We feel okay about this. Again, almost everything here is just to graph a line. The only new stuff is to do this coloring, and the coloring might be new, but the coloring is not hard, okay? Now, let's go down to the number 4. Trust me, I know we're going in weird orders. No, not yet. Stay with me and you'll get it, I promise. So, for number 4, I know we're going in weird order. The M is -3 and the B is -1. So let's graph this. Let's start with the B at -1. We've already practiced this. We've already warmed this up. The M is not a fraction, so I put a divided by 1. I see that it's a negative. I always go up, and because of the negative, I'm going left. So I'm going up left. Here we go. Up, 1, 2, 3. Left, 1. Up, 1, 2, 3. Left, 1. I got my line there, my dots. I'm going to make sure it's in a nice line. Sweet. I'm going to make a line that goes all the way across. Our symbol now is a greater than or equal to. And so if we have a greater than or equal to, we're either going to be coloring above or below. All right? Now, if it says greater than, if I said that the number of points that I scored was greater than you, was I above or was I below? Right, it's kind of common sense, right? Greater means above. So up top here, in the above section, let's put a nice greater than or equal to symbol. So now you should have 2 symbols up here. All right, so I need to shade above. Some of us are going to be very good at this right away. Some of us are not going to be very good at this right away, and that's okay. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. Some of us are going to be like, oh my God, this is so easy. I get it right every time. Some of us are going to be a little more confused. I'm just putting these letters randomly, all right? I got A and B.
B.
Which letter do you think is above the line?
B.
Now, we heard the right answer. B is the right answer. I'll give you 2 strategies. Strategy number 1 if you put your pencil on the line like this, and then you just go above like that, that's the side that you should color. Right? That's a pretty easy strategy. Put your pencil on the line and go above. And that tells you that you need to color this whole side. The other strategy is to think of this like a roof of a house. Okay? If you think about this like a roof, which side is above the roof outside, and which side is under the roof inside the house, right? Obviously, A is inside the house, and B is outside above the house. For this question, we need to color above the house. Let's mix it up. I'll use pink this time. Don't spend too long. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Really quick. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be a Picasso. Doesn't have to be a miracle. Drawing it up real quick. Honestly, I don't know much about Picasso. Okay, now we're going to go and look at number 1. Now let's come back here really quick, and this is going to be just 2 seconds, okay? Let's say that I was going to graph this, and it's a nice, easy, you put a 4 on here, you put a 0 on here, whatever, that's good enough. There's actually 2 decisions we need to make, all right? The first decision that we need to make is about the circle. You guys remember what I'm talking about? The circle either gets colored in or it stays empty. For this equation, I'm just making this up random, so here we go. Just totally random. For this random review question, should I be coloring in the circle or not?
No.
And how do you know that?
Because it's not an equal to.
Because it's not an equal to sign. You guys are absolutely right. Okay? Now we're back here. Okay? Do you notice how number 2 and number 4, they both have equal to's? Equal to's. Okay? Those are going to be the normal graphs. All right? Up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of like a divider in the middle of the paper. Okay? Because we have the line type and the shading side. I'm going to keep these separate, just a little squiggle there. Okay? And if you have an equal to, that's going to make a solid line. So I'm going to put 2 symbols, a less than or equal to, and a greater than or equal to. All right? Now stay with me. This is almost the very last thing that we're supposed to learn today. All right? There's 2 types of shading, above and below. There's 2 types of line, a solid line and a dashed line. Has anybody ever heard of a dashed line?
No.
Okay. So, a dashed line is sometimes called like a dotted line. You might have heard to sign on the dotted line or to cut on the dotted line. Dashed line, pretty much the same thing as a dotted line. Let's see how this looks. For number 1, we're going to get the M, -2/3. We're going to get the B, 3. We're going to start at 3. This is one you definitely want to do with me, even if you're starting to kind of lose focus. Stay with me here. We're going to go up 2 and left 3. We're going left because it's a negative. Up 2, left 3. Up 2, left 3. Now, pause. Pause. Hold on for a second. Okay? When we look at this symbol, it is a greater than symbol. Okay? If we were doing one of these graphs, is that supposed to be an open circle or a closed circle? Sorry, that was confusing. This one right here is supposed to be an open circle for this symbol. It's kind of like that. Okay? Now, you can't do an open circle for a graph. You can't do an open circle for a line. And so this is where we make a dashed line. All right? Here's how you do it. It still needs to be straight, or at least pretty straight. And the way you do it is you just leave some spaces. So you make a line and then you stop. And then you leave a break, and you leave a pause, and you leave a space. Line and then you stop. Line and then you stop. And you make a dashed line. It's not rocket science. I hope I wasn't making it sound hard. You just make a line that has some gaps in it. Now, this is what you're going to be graded on. So, like, if you don't put the dashes, you're going to get points off. If I can't tell, if you wrote the tiniest little microscopic dashes that are so small that I can't see, then you're going to get some points off, okay? You just do like dot, 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 dash, 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 dash. Just leave some gaps in there, okay? Now, what we just learned is that dash lines come from greater than or less than. Here's what I would do. On top of the solid, I would draw a circle that's colored in. In your brain, if you make the matchup that solid lines are like closed circles, then you've already learned it. Above the dashed, I would put an open circle that's not colored in. And this is it. If you know how to shade, and if you know how to get solid or dashed, there's nothing new to learn today, okay? That's the only new stuff. Do you think we need to be coloring on side A or on side B for this line?
B.
So this is a greater than, and my greater than. Over here, I don't see the greater than on my shading side, but you're right. The greater than should be above. Because if I have greater than your money, or whatever it may be, sorry to use money as an excuse here, or money as an example. When it comes to below, it's going to be less than. Okay, hopefully you have all 8 symbols filled in. Hopefully you know where this stuff is coming from. I agree for number 1. We need to shade on the B side because we are greater. We need to shade on the above side. So we're shading up here. Really quick, 3 seconds, zigzag. Doesn't need to be a beautiful Monet painting, or maybe your paper looks more like Jackson Pollock, you know what I'm saying? I know we got a lot of big art people in the house, so I got it.
I'm sorry, but I'm working on something else. But
Nothing I can help you with. If you don't want to focus on math, then
it's math. I'm doing both math, but I got a little thrown off with the line and the coloring, and I know how to do the rest, but the coloring and stuff is just too much.
Okay.
So when we do the actual worksheet, is we coloring?
Yep. We coloring today. You're gonna be coloring tomorrow. You're gonna be coloring on the test on Wednesday.
Okay, well I'm gonna just need your help after, just a little explanation.
All right. If I was you, I would suggest maybe just focus on this for another 5 minutes, and we'll be done. Here we go. Number 3. Same thing. Start with the B value. Rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1. Get your 3 dots, and then stop. Don't draw the line. Think for a second. We have this symbol. It is a less than symbol. Is that symbol a closed circle or an open circle? It's an open circle. When it comes to lines, is it going to be a solid line or a dashed line? This is going to be a dashed line, which is not that hard. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just dash, 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 dash. Does not have to be perfect. Just leave some breaks in there. Okay? We got 2 decisions for every question. Is it solid or dashed? The second decision, is it above or below? That's a less than symbol. I see my less than symbol. I see it right here. That is a below. So I need to color below. Which side is below? Am I coloring on the A side or the B side?
B.
I'm going to color on the B side. Okay? So, coloring on the B side, Done. All right, we have done 4 graphs. Hopefully, if you zoom out and you look at your paper, you can see 4 different graphs, 4 different coloring. Now, we're going to do 30 more seconds on the front of the paper. We're going to look at these top ones up here, and this is where, if you've been snoozing, if you've been distracted by a YouTube video, even though I hope not, let's focus in here. Looking at this first one. Look at this symbol that we have. Shh, quiet please. Look at this first symbol, we got a greater than. Is that a solid or a dashed line? That's a dashed line. Sweet. Let's go to the next one. Is that a solid or a dashed line? The second one is going to be solid. And why is it solid? There's an equal sign. Not that hard. What about the third one? Dashed or solid? This is going to be dashed. And the last one is solid. Alright? If you can't do this on your own, then you really haven't learned the one thing you got to learn so far. You got a nice setup here. Now we're going to do the same thing. Look at this left one. Is it above or is it below? This one right here is a greater than symbol, which I see right here, which is an above. Greater than means above. What about less than or equal to? Am I going above or below? That's a below. What do you think about the third line? It's below again. Below and below. Both of these are below because both of them are less. And what about the last one?
Above.
It's above. The last one is above. Right before we move on. Dashed above, dashed below. So you can't just try to memorize that all dashed graphs are above, because they're not. Some dashed graphs are below. You got to kind of memorize these 2 setups. But the truth is, you can definitely do it. You can definitely figure this out. On the back. And we're going to go way, way, way faster. So I hope you're ready to keep up. Hope you're ready to go. Here we go. M equals 1. B equals 5. We're speeding up. The M is 1 over 1. I'm going to get my 3 dots. I'm going to start at 5. And I'm going 1, 1, 1, 1. There we go. I got my 3 dots. It took me 30 seconds.
What? Can you chill just a little bit?
Maybe just a little bit. Now, we have this symbol. Don't draw a line yet. Is it a solid line or is it a dashed line? It's a solid line. So boom, solid. Good. There's 1 step left. We either need to be above or we need to be below. We already decided it was solid. This question is an above question because it's a greater than, so we need to do above. So I'm going to color above, and then we're done. All right, I'm going to move on in 15 seconds. If you look at number 6, I know that the M is 1/5. What is the B for 6? I don't see a B number. Nice job. No, it's a 0. Okay, so that 0 tells me to start at the origin. A little bit of a vocab word. I need to go up 1 and over 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I run out of room. 1, 1, 2, I need to go the other direction. Down 1, left 5. Whenever I do these opposite directions, I always check. Okay, it looks nice and straight. Now, I've got this symbol. Is that a solid or a dashed line? That's going to be dashed. So, we're going to go ahead. Thank you very much. And we're going to make a dashed line. Maya, where's your new seat?
She's in front of me, but
she's not here? Okay. So, we're going to make a dashed line. I was wondering why I couldn't see her. I thought it was just because we got new seats. Dash line. There you go. Dash line. Leaving some gaps. This is a dash line. Are we supposed to be coloring above or below for this symbol? Below. This is a below. What do you think? Is that side A or is that side B? Side B is below. All right, listen, we got 2 questions left. Let me get through 2 more. All right, 2 more. And these 2 questions at the bottom are the fastest questions and the weirdest questions. So here we go. Moving on. The last 2 questions. These are those questions that we've said these are weird, okay? They're weird questions because they have only a y, because they have only an x, and that's weird, okay? They're missing half the stuff. I like to use Hoy Vux because it reminds me that for number 7, y graphs are going to be horizontal. So I'm going to go to -2 and I'm going to draw a horizontal line. But wait, this is our symbol. Is that a solid or a dashed symbol? That's a dashed symbol. Okay, so my horizontal line needs to be dash, 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 dash. Now, look at this symbol again. Is that an above symbol or a below symbol? That's an above symbol. Okay? Now, if I'm going to graph this above, and if I color it like this, okay, this is one of those things where it's pretty good, but you might lose points if you color it like this. What did I do wrong about coloring this? I missed this part, right? And it doesn't have to be a perfect coloring job, but it does look like I stopped at the x-axis, and that's wrong. You gotta color, put your line on the graph, you gotta color all of this stuff, right? So I'm gonna have to make sure that I color all of this. Make sure that you go all the way. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at the same time, you got to make sure you do the whole thing. There you go. Squiggly line. I got a little sloppy, went over the line, whatever. We're almost done. Finishing up. Our last one. We got literally 1 question left. Look at this one. Our last one is an X graph. I know that my X graphs are the ugliest ones out of all of them. They're very strange. I know that we need to have a vertical line that starts at 4. Am I going to put my dot at A or my dot at B? It needs to go at B. So I'm going to put my dot at B. Is a vertical line side to side or up and down? Up and down. So I'm going to do a nice up and down. But I forgot to check. Should I be solid or dashed? Whew, got lucky. Okay? You got to take your time. Make sure you check the sign. Now, this is the weirdest one. And I said this is the ugliest one. Because this is my less than. And my less than means below. But if you look at this graph, is there really a below side? Not really, right? I mean, if this was a roof, it would be a very bad roof, right? Roofs don't go straight up and down. That's called a wall. All right? So, these are the ugly graphs. We still have to color. We're going to have to either color on the left side or color on the right side. The good news is we already know the difference, okay? Here's what we practiced earlier. This, x greater than 4, reminds me a lot of this, x less than 4. If I was going to graph this one, x greater than 4, would I go to the left or would I go to the right?
Right.
I would go towards B. I would go to the right. And how did you choose the right? Because you think of this like an arrow, right? Same exact thing. I agree with you, Kaya, but we're trying to figure out if you can do your work or not. And that's what we're testing, not about inequalities. So, we need to color, make this an arrow. Which side do we need to color? We're going to need to color this side over here. What do you think about my coloring? Not very good. You got to color everything that's over there. So when it comes to these ugly x graphs, use the inequality to draw you an arrow to tell you which side to color. All right. 90% of what you got to do is you got to draw the graph. If you know how to draw the graph, then you got two quick decisions. Solid line or dashed line, that's your first decision. Your second decision is above or below. Okay? Only on these ugly x ones is it left or right. All right, that is the notes.